Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because we're going to unpack a simple but honestly profoundly effective mental tool for those exact moments when you feel completely stuck or just overwhelmed. We've literally all been there, right? You hit a wall, your stress spikes, and you just don't know how to move forward. Well, today, we're pulling directly from some fascinating insights on human psychology to show you how a tiny, tiny shift in your vocabulary can completely transform your reality.
Right off the bat, I want you to make this super personal. Seriously, take a second and think about your own life. What is the single biggest difficulty you are facing right now? I'm talking about that specific situation where it feels like reality is just crashing right into you. The source material we're looking at today identifies three different ways we interact with reality. We either crash into it through our own poor decisions, we actively participate in it, or, and this is the big one, reality crashes into us through events that are completely outside of our control. I want you to hold that specific struggle in your mind because we're going to give you the exact tool to dismantle it.
Now, before we try to fix anything, we kind of have to acknowledge a pretty heavy truth. Life is unmanageable sometimes. Chaos, unpredictability, outright difficulty, they're all just inevitable facets of reality. As this incredibly powerful quote from M. Scott Peck states, emotional sickness is avoiding reality at any cost. Emotional health is facing reality at any cost. See, we aren't here to pretend your difficulties don't exist. We're here to face them squarely, without trying to avoid the discomfort. Because once you finally accept that you can't control the event itself, you realize you have absolute control over something so much more powerful, your perception of it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, the power of reframing.
So, how exactly do we change our perception without, just lying to ourselves? Well, we use cognitive reframing. And to be clear, this isn't some fluffy, toxic positivity where you just force a smile and pretend everything is fine. No way. This is a highly grounded psychological mechanic. Cognitive reframing is actively shifting your interpretation of a situation. The core idea here, and this is a total game changer, is that events themselves have absolutely no inherent meaning. None. They only become positive or negative based on how you filter them through your own unconscious assumptions. Reframing is literally like putting on a brand new pair of glasses to see reality differently. Your inner voice is usually just trying to protect you from pain, but it can easily get distorted. Reframing corrects that distortion. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the actual machinery behind why reframing works. This is the cognitive triangle. It's a foundational concept in cognitive behavioral therapy. Basically, your thoughts influence your feelings influence your actions, and your actions loop right back around to influence your thoughts. It's this continuous running cycle. But here is the secret. Interrupting this cycle at literally any single point creates immediate positive change. By shifting just one thought, or honestly even one word, you instantly reduce your stress and unlock your brain's capacity for creative problem solving.
Part 2, obstacle versus challenge.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. Let's take that difficulty you thought of earlier and put it through a head-to-head battle. Over on the left, we have the obstacle perspective. When you mentally label an event as an obstacle, it just stops you in your tracks. It breeds discouragement. It feels like a heavy, restrictive roadblock. But look at the right side, the challenge perspective. When you mentally label that exact same event as a challenge, it immediately inspires creativity. It fuels determination. It's energetic, it's forward-moving, and it actually nurtures personal growth. Think about it. The situation itself hasn't changed at all. The facts are identical. The only thing that changed is the frame you put around it.
Part 3, the obstacle perspective.
Let's actually step inside the mindset of someone trapped in this frame for a second. Notice the kinds of questions you naturally ask yourself when you view a difficulty purely as a roadblock. Why is this situation difficult? What is standing in my way? Why does everything seem like a hurdle? These are incredibly restrictive Socratic questions. They completely trap you in a cycle of discouragement. You're effectively just asking the universe, why me? You're looking backward at the cause of your pain rather than forward at the solution. And because you're fixating on what's entirely out of your control, you end up feeling utterly powerless. Let's move to and see how this builds. Part 4, the challenge perspective. Now let's look at the exact same situation, but through this completely new lens. Listen to the internal dialogue now. How can I navigate this opportunity? What realistic steps can I take? How will I be better after this? Notice how the entire energy in the room shifts. Reading these internal questions, you can clearly see how labeling the event as a challenge immediately focuses your brain on solutions. It inherently assumes that you have agency. It assumes that growth is entirely possible. You aren't just passively enduring reality anymore. You are actively participating in it. You're literally becoming a partner with it. So,
The crucial point is, part 5, making the mental shift.
So how do we actually flip this switch in real time? Like when we're stuck in the mud, how do we actively catch ourselves and move from obstacle to challenge? Well, here is your toolkit. It's a short-term strategy called RADAR. RDR. Reflect, describe, respond. Step 1, reflect. Just pause and notice your emotions. Acknowledge what's happening beneath the surface and admit to yourself that you're currently viewing the event as a massive obstacle. Step 2, describe. Put it into words. Use highly specific, completely neutral language to describe your emotions without criticizing yourself. So instead of saying, ugh, I'm just lazy, say, actually, I'm avoiding this because I feel completely overwhelmed. And finally, step 3, respond. This is the pivot. Reframe the obstacle as a challenge, figure out one tiny actionable step, and take immediate action to break your inertia. I want to leave you with this absolutely incredible thought from Thomas Edison, which perfectly captures the ultimate challenge perspective. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Setbacks are not failures, guys. They are feedback. They are literally stepping stones. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. The next time reality crashes into you, just remember that you get to choose the frame. So what's it going to be? A roadblock that completely stops you, or a challenge that shapes you?